What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So we're starting off with Pirate King Adventures versus Lin is finally here, and we're going to be going through 3 separate teams in this video, taking on level 60 plus. Now look, the footage that you see here is only between level 40 to 60, but the teams in this video that you guys will look at do have the capabilities of taking on level 60. The gimmick difference between level 40 and level 60 is not major. It's not like massive significant changes, but you do have to keep in mind exactly what's going on. Remember that when you reach the final boss stage and you get the opportunity to finally take on Lin, you can click the guide at the top right hand corner to give you a bit more insight as to what you should be expecting in terms of the gimmicks in this quest. Now, one thing to note is that the recent treasure map character that came out during August, which is the treasure map Baby Yamato character, she's very useful in this quest. If you have her, you probably want to run her, as she does give you additional drops for using her, and her special is phenomenal for getting around the gimmicks of stage 3, where you get inflicted with heavy despair, as well as the enemy having resilience, and luckily that Yamato character does have the capability to remove both of those debuffs, as well as inflicting resistance down, and if you hit 3 perfects, you get increased damage taken inflicted on the enemy when you reach stage 4. So all of those things combined is very good. Obviously, if you're using Gear 5 Luffy, if you use Law and Kid, these characters can utilize Yamato on the team for their super tandems or the EX specials, so it's nice to have the accessibility there. So Yamato, definitely want to be using her in this content. So the first team you're seeing here obviously is going to be using Law and Kid. I know not everyone is going to be able to build this team. That is completely okay. We have 2 separate teams we're going to be looking at after this. There should be timestamps to give you guys a bit more of a heads up about that as well. But, you know, Law and Kid, they're the max boosted character in this quest. Ideally, they're the character you want to use. However, just something else to note is that if you didn't have Law and Kid and you have Gear 5 Luffy and his recent batch with Komurasaki and Denjiro, those characters are also really good for this content. So I like the fact that this content not only is really good for Law and Kid, but if you don't have them, you can still build a really good team to take on this content with the recently released Gear 5 hype character that many people out there would have done pulls for. So luckily, if you have that character, or even if you have Momonosuke and you don't have Gear 5, you can still build a solid team, which we'll talk about in this video too. So I'll leave you guys with the rest of this clip with the max boosted team going through this content, but we'll pick things up once we move on to the second team of the video. Moving on now to the secondary team of the video, we're going to be using Gear 5 Luffy with none of the recently released batch with Law and Kid and Big Mom, Beppo, Killer. Obviously, we are using Law and Kid as a friend captain. Many people have been doing pulls for Law, Kid, and Big Mom, so finding friend captains for Law and Kid, at least in the early stages of this PKA, are going to be pretty easy. So if you want to have the best opportunity at finding friend captains, definitely do it now when no content is really available. Eventually, if we ever get other pieces of content surrounding it while PKA is still active, it may be a bit more difficult to locate Law and Kid friend captains, so just make sure you know that moving forward. Once again, Baby Yamato making an appearance to deal with the gimmicks of Stage 3 with ulti and Page 1. Now on the 4th stage here, we're going to be having the ability of Denjiro as well as the Komurasaki, enabling you actually to get a defense down conditional boost, which is pretty cool. However, post level 60, the enemy will actually have a defense down immunity, if I remember correctly. So you actually won't be able to get a defense down conditional boost unless if you use Law and Kid special, which you ideally want to keep for the last stage. Which is kind of annoying, but still, the Komurasaki and the Denjiro really help, especially post level 60, where you actually get special reversal on this stage, and Denjiro can deal with the special reverse, so that's really nice. The Usopp on this team is not required. I just kind of needed a filler character to, fill that position, and the Usopp was able to do that, but of course you could replace that Usopp with just about anything else. We're using Gear 5, as we said, his EX special, turning him into Gear 5, enabling us to get around either the Rainbow Shield or the Threshold that gets inflicted on the second last stage, which is exceptional. And now moving on to the final team of the video for level 60 plus is going to be using Momonosuke as our main captain, who works very well once again, allowing us to wave clear the stages earlier on very, very comfortably. And the fact that we get the end of turn damage and the attack boost for so long is massive, allowing you to get like huge boosts for a very, very long extended period of time in this content. I believe, if I remember correctly, we actually carry this attack boost all the way to the final stage, so it's exceptional. Now as for the other characters here, Baby Yamato once again because she's awesome. Otama is actually really cool. So Otama is actually the free-to-play character that we're all going to be farming for. Now if you're just starting the event, it's not a big issue. Otama is only really needed once you get past level 60, because as I said, there is going to be special reverse that occurs on stage 4, and Otama actually does do special reverse, or she does reduce the cooldown of characters. Now that I'm thinking about it though, I don't actually think she has a crewmate ability to resist the special reverse, so I think that actually might be a problem now that I'm thinking about it. But in terms of how we get around this, Zoro with the support of Luffy enables him to remove Threshold, and we have Momo to remove Rainbow Shield, so no matter which one gets inflicted here, we can remove it. Zoro, 3-turn Orb Boost, Frankie, 3-turn Color Affinity, and we still have the attack boost from Momonosuke, so we have Attack, Orb, and Affinity for Stage 4 and Stage 5, and the full board of Wano slots as well, carrying that into the final stage to make sure we can do as much damage as possible. And then of course Law and Kid with their special on the final stage to set the enemy's defense to 0. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Once we get a bit deeper into PKA, I'll bring you guys some more teams, but hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. But other than that guys, I'll catch you guys within the next video.